calling in. I'm driving back to my hotel.
Okay. All right. You may have to say yes or continue on that recording or whatever that happens. So welcome, Steve and Nancy. We missed you last week. But you got a beautiful deck.
I have a beautiful deck.
Our deck, yes, we do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Has the miraculous new plan on the kitchen land?
Oh, God. Bad day to ask.
Oh, bad day to ask. Okay. Okay.
Don't ask today.
Don't ask today.
We're going to need some Healy on that one.
Let's just say I had a really good cry yesterday. You not distress, but frustration, and it was a nice release. It was just like different realities were just not lining up, you know.
Well, yeah. Do you have your kitchen in as a Healy client yet, Steve?
No, but it's a great idea.
All right. Yeah. All right. And Linda, you look like you're in a new place. Are you home?
I'm home.
You're
I'm
home
home
for a few days.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the area where it's hard for me to get enough light on the front side of me so you can see my face.
Yeah, it's okay
But
right now. But
otherwise, it's just shining right in my eyes, and that doesn't work for me either. So anyway, it's complete. If I open the curtains, it's completely white behind me. So
right.
I don't have a good setup.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's line up and then we'll do a little bit more check-in. So just taking a moment just to land in your own being, in your own body, in this eternal now moment right there in your own chair, as the case may be. And as you land there, line up with this container, step into the container and feel yourself lifted and lined up, coming into resonance, coherence. And just posing the question into your own space and into the space collectively. What is the highest and best for us today? Now we set that intention as we start. Maybe an answer comes, maybe not, but we hold the question, what is the highest and best? And feel yourself opening up that. What if we had a miraculous outcome today? What would that feel like? What would that look like? Of course, by definition, miraculous outcomes means you can't see it before it shows up. So what would it feel like? What would it feel like to have all the limits in body, mind, heart, soul, spirit, housing, construction, all of the limits in any way, shape, or form just lifted for today? What would it feel like? And then we line up together collectively, feel the energy of all of us. And we lift that up and we lift the limits and we step beyond all that we know in order to experience the next evolution of coherence, of alignment, of the miraculous. I'm going to just lift it. I'm just do it once right now. Lift it and gift it, blowing the roof off of what we might experience today. And when you're ready, take a deep breath, open your eyes. Welcome back. Somehow when I said that, Steve, I went to, what is that? Welcome home, Cotter. Welcome back, Cotter. That Cotter. Remember that show? Welcome back. Just popped in my head. That's you and your music in my head. Oh my. All right. What showed up? What lined up? What's your intention today? If we were to really hold the intention, Gloria or Linda, if you want to check in at all about what happened last week and where you are with that, feel free. Well, Steve and Nancy too. What's up?
I'll go first.
Yeah, this is Lori.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you can go ahead, Gloria. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I can't see, so it's hard for me to tell when somebody's about to talk, so I apologize.
No problem. We're
Well,
all
I was
good.
just going to quickly say I really appreciated how we continue to drill down on one topic or one area or working with one Healy program and continuing where we left off, from the first one. And like I said, I think it really opened up a lot of depth last week as we were working with personal content. And I think so it just kind of kept unwinding, I think, even after that session. And I was aware this week of like when my brain would just start to say something and I would all of a sudden say, you know what, that's a belief. It's not necessarily a fact, it's a
Right.
belief.
Right.
When I would say something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really kind of like that approach where we just kind of keep diving deeper and deeper and deeper on one thing.
Okay.
That's all.
Good. That's awesome.
Well, that's great. And oh my gosh, I got all this emotion came up because I'm just feeling really grateful for being here, being part of this group, and it's just fascinating to me how this works. And I'm just so excited about being part of this group and getting past my shit, being able to have an opportunity to step into more of what I've dreamed my life could be. And so I'm just really grateful. And one of the things that happened last week, actually it was a really rocky week. There was a lot of stuff going on. But I remember driving down in my car, I was driving and I was frustrated and talking to myself about how bad somebody was. and I pulled up to a stop sign and this thing just came into me about pause. It was like this, oh yeah, pause and pivot. It was like, oh yeah. And then it became this fun game, it was like every time I'd start catching myself, it was like pause and pivot, and then what can I do where do I want to go with this pivot? Where do I want to go with this one? And so that became more ingrained, and I appreciate that a lot. And it was helpful. It was helpful to find the giggle inside, that thing that just said, oh yeah, it's hard, but we're having fun with it. That's a really good space to be in. And the other thing I wanted to say was about how I feel like the memory's not coming right forward right now, but I do have the experience of feeling like I'm getting clearer, and that it is about just letting myself be in the moment and letting things be the way they are and accepting it, and then just going from there instead of trying to control as much as I do that automatically, so just to be able to realize that I'll have more fun if I just watch it. So,
Yeah.
So anyway, that's where I'm going.
Awesome.
Oh, and one more thing is just all my gratitude for you, Eliza. And just even in that opening that we just did was just I have so much appreciation for meeting you and being able to work with you, and this experience of how do you get there? How do we do this? And your obvious experiential experience of this quantum field and this burst that we're going for and experiencing. I feel really blessed to be part of this and to know you. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Linda. Yeah. I want to go answer how, but I want to hear from Steve and Nancy checking in too first.
Well, actually, that made me realize what I used to say to you is how do you stay in it? Which has been an appropriate question for whatever few days. And I'm just reflecting. I tell you, my energy has shifted so much from when we first started, because I was just strung like a drum, a tight fix, and trying to process information I got shortly before our call. I hadn't had time to, slot it anywhere except out here. And we went to the meditation, and I was really tight. And all of a sudden I started laughing because I said, oh my God, I have a dysfunctional relationship with my kitchen. I have a dysfunctional relationship with my kitchen. I've healed so many, loving relationships or family relationships. They said, how can you have a dysfunctional relationship with wallboard and 2x4s? That just dawned on me. And prior, to coming on the call, I went from thinking something was going to be done Monday to having the person that came couldn't figure out how to do it, even though I met with somebody else from the same company and it could be done. Well, the owner came out today, just not too long ago, and he's a master. He knows how to do this stuff. And he looked at it and he says, okay, all right, you can do this, this, and this. We could do it. That's not the person we should have sent. Oh, well, great. But it pushes everything back. So I'm into this, this thing of timelines and whatever. But I was just realizing, and I think about all the things we've learned to do under stress. I didn't know how to take care of my mom in the year she was in the hospital so much, and then went to hospice right before she passed away. None of us knew how to do that. None of us know how to navigate that scene like Lori's doing now until we're in it. And you're always running up against some area where you may have even the person you need to talk to, you don't have the right questions. And sometimes some of them don't know, to offer you answers, even if you can't articulate them. So this has really been interesting just to come on the call, because I have been hitting disappointment on Monday. I said yesterday when I hit my frustration level on afternoon, and Steve came down and I said, I just need to cry. And I said, don't get anywhere near it. It's not a cry for anything other than I need to release tension. I just need a frustrated cry. It wasn't even a real cry. I just need to feel teary. And then then it passes on. But even before the guy came over this afternoon, I thought this conversation is not going to go the way I wanted if I don't come in here. And I didn't have the Healy with me, but I went into just an alignment with it. I should have brought it down, but I didn't. And said, you need to get anchored in here, or nothing's going to happen. And of course he walks in, and had he been here, it's like boom, boom, boom. Except now you need this permit and this permit and this permit that I had no idea about. But anyway, I'm just saying, just the call in general has helped ground. Oh my God, I was so agitated. So the grounding is about, I don't even know what percentage to put on it, of settling down. And when you were doing the visioning and trying to lift up, I didn't think I could do it until you two started to talk. And then I thought, I settled there, and I didn't recognize that I had settled until I heard it spoken. Does that make sense? I didn't recognize it myself. So yeah, thank you all. And yes, thank you for Anchor up here in the corner that knows for pushing us in sometimes. And thank you. Okay, that's enough.
And so we begin. Oh no,
Hmm.
Nancy's done.
I'm done. I'm done.
And bless her little selfness, because she was processing all that by herself, because I'm stuck up here on phone calls on this project that I'm on, literally one right after the other.
Mm.
I mean, until 5:05 today. And, I'm just like, I know that she needs to talk about some of the stuff that came up, but I just can't. It's such a, um, this project has such a tight timeline that there's no room for, much of anything, you know. So it's been amazing. Well, actually, it's been kind of fun to watch me uh, slide through some of it without being a basket case, because I have sort of glided through, and like one of the other people that I work with has just been, and I said, basket case about, oh my God, we got to do this. Oh my God, we got to do that. And I'm like, yeah, okay, it'll get done. Oh no, you don't understand. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I do.
But but it's been fun to watch me in that space that I'm in right now, because I mean, I don't doubt that it could get more hectic, but I just I haven't reacted to it yet as a thing, so, and that's the good news.
That's huge,
Yeah, it is.
and maybe you don't ever have to react to it as a thing, even if you have a moment in it, right?
Yeah,
And, with the new Healy coil, you can wear that thing all day long.
I guess I might get one of those, break down and get one. Yep.
Just keep it on coherence. Well, you have to trade off with Nancy, but yeah. Yeah. Awesome. My check-in, we've had a day, and we've had a day here, technology day. Well, I don't know if we have, but I've been observing. I got one of the things I got for my birthday, which, you should never give your wife for a birthday gift, but it seems to work, is one of those robot floor cleaner things.
Oh, yeah.
I can't get it to work. I can't get the Wi-Fi to connect with it. I can't get it to work. I tried for like an hour yesterday. I tried for like an hour today. I finally called customer service. I was on the phone for an hour, and finally she's like, well, we have to escalate this. They'll call you between 24 and 48 hours. I'm like, oh, gee. And then we're trying to move the sound bar from one TV to the other TV and can't get it to work, and can't get nothing to work, and can't get anything to work, and can't get that to work. And Rob's trying to do something else and he can't get it to work, and it's pouring down rain. So he can't get outside. So he says, I just woke up this morning. I thought I'm going to start being more positive, and everything unlike that came up. So it's kind of been that kind of a day here too. So I don't know if we can blame Mercury in retrograde, or I didn't run enough Heelys this morning myself. But I noticed that it's like, yeah, okay. My computer wasn't working very well. SpeedNet, right? To check your computer, to check your internet on your computer.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I was doing that just before the call. It was real spotty, and it would go from my download speed would go from 2.6 to 0.54 to 36.
Wow.
To 2.6. I'm like, well, and I'm doing my iPad right next to the computer, and it's completely different, but it's also jumpy. I'm like, Anyway, Suddenlink's going to get a call probably tomorrow. And we have no choice here. So anyway, kind of interesting, but yeah, last week we chose one program, and we actually ran those frequencies 3 times, and we also wove in a little bit of the dismantling of a belief and opening up. So we kind of were doing a real hybrid of all the different work we do. So that seemed to work for Linda and Glory. So
Can we do more?
absolutely. But where do you want to start? Do you want to start with All Healy? Do you want to start with Alaskan Gems? Do you want to start with anyone at all. We could start, with any of them. Does anybody do you have an intuitive hit or a desire?
This is Glory. Can you hear me?
We can.
I'm just feeling kind of creative homeopathy. What do you all think?
Open.
I'm getting
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, we're all open. Okay, we'll go for it. Let me pull it up. And as Steve put our intention in the chat, the other thing that we did, I think for 2 weeks is kind of, we really used that as the umbrella, either the umbrella or the foundation for our own personal intention. And that seems to work really well too. It makes it a little bit, I don't know what it makes it, but it seems to work. So if you had your own personal intention for today, lined up inside, outside, around, above, underneath this greater group intention, what is it? Like, just feel into it. So is it coherence? Is it joy? Is it ease? Is it miraculous outcomes? Is it kitchens? Is it essence? Is it, what is it? Just feel into what's alive today. And then when we look at that, we'll also look at what is the belief that is preventing that from already being. Does that make sense? Like, if my intention, I can't even think of one right now, but my intention is, my internet connection is unstable. I just got that message. So my intention is clear connection with consistency and clarity. I mean, just for an intention, right? Not only my internet, but my intranet. So then as I line up with that, then I look at what is it that is a belief or an obstacle or a thought that has kept me from my clear in connection. And so for me, it's like, I don't know. I mean, that's like, I'm not sure. That's my basic assumptions. I'm like, I kind of go into the freeze mode. So then we can unravel that. So I'm sort of seeding this, but as we line up with our intention, we'll scan, we'll vibrate, we'll look at what the obstacle is, we'll unpack it, and then we'll vibrate again. How's that sound? Kind of a package little there.
I love it.
You have your intention. Everybody have your intention. Yep. Anybody need help with their intention? Okay. I'm writing this down. Okay, so we're going to just take a minute to line back up to where we were, just with our opening line up. Just breathing into the core of our being. And as we do that, we can feel any obstacles or limitations just dropping right off of us. All of the excuses, all of the distractions of the world, just lining up with our biggest, boldest, most brilliant becoming, our own individual intention, enveloped in all is well. It is done. As we quantum shift ourselves and our world into miraculous outcomes. And we will scan that, analyze it. This one takes a few minutes, so just feeling into your own intention. We're scanning. Still scanning, but landing into that intention as if it is already true. And I'm going to go ahead and vibrate for 2 minutes and 49 seconds before we read what they are. So just continuing to expand, now simply opening to receive. And those are starting now. So what did you experience? Oh, you didn't hear me say, and that is complete, because somehow I got muted. I think I bounced out. So that is complete. So take that breath. And what did you notice? What did you experience?
Well, I think I was talking to myself most of the time. It was talking to myself about the expansion of my being and being aware of being part of everything and all. And there was a saying, there's something about contrast and clarity and how they go together, that one comes from the other, contrast and clarity. So I feel like I had moments of that kind of clarity of my experiences. So
Oh,
yeah.
awesome. Steve.
Well, oftentimes I'll have little movie vignettes that play, or lots of sound or audio or whatever. This time was pretty quiet. I mean, my sensation was deep, really sinking down deep into a layer. Or just was, I don't know what to call it, comfort maybe. And there was one point during that time when I had a sensation of intense forward motion, like speed, like just, and it, I just went with it, which is kind of fun. But so my intention had been to remain focused on continued ease and comfort in the role that I'm doing at work, and the ability to be able to flow through any of the stuff here with our construction and design and all that more easy and effortlessly.
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
so I got lots of peace.
Well, that works.
Yeah.
Awesome. We'll go Nancy and then Glory.
Yeah. That was really felt soothing to go back to the mantra. And then what I had added was I was aware that the phrases I've been saying for a bit now are, I'm so over this. I'm so over this. I am so done with this. And not in a feel good way. I was just done. Just to slap something up, I'll be happy, But so I put into to shift to a healthy and loving relationship with that space and the process. So, and when I did that, of course, my mind, I could feel it once in a while. I want to bump up against reviewing what the stuff I've just heard recently, going, just bumping up against it, not grabbing it, but bumping up and thinking, oh, I got to ponder that. Oh, I got to give that some thought, but just touching it, not having to engage. And it's like, that'll be there soon enough. But I really, when I joked about having a dysfunctional relationship, I realized I just was having one and wanted to release and let that go. And it was actually, so it was very soothing, very serene. I didn't have any motion other than I could feel some constrictions letting go. And that was glorious.
Yeah, beautiful. Awesome. And Gloria, obviously you were moving around through that, but do you have something you can share? Oh, here comes the headphones.
I don't know how, can you hear me over the computer audio? Okay,
Yes.
all right. Yeah, and I actually stopped outside, to just have the experience through some of that. It was interesting. I had an intention. It was just like immediately I knew what my intention was, because I'd actually been thinking about it, especially over the last few days. And I've had a big Mercury retrograde experience yesterday. But what my intention came out as that the source of my spiritual nourishment flows from deep within me. And that I've had a lot of beliefs that are so unconscious, or have formerly been unconscious, about that my nourishment and that what I needed came from the world and what was happening. So as I just kind of felt this little Healy session, it was like, it doesn't matter what I'm doing or where I am, if I'm peacefully meditating, laying in a bed in the optimal environment with ambient music playing in the background, or I could be walking up the stairs to my hotel. It doesn't matter. It was like, anywhere. So it doesn't matter where or what is happening. So that's what was the message that was coming through to me. That source is like a spring that's always flowing from deep within me.
So it's, you know, that how much I can live the outside in. So that there's a level of living from the inside out, from meeting my needs from the inside out. So being with that, and as I came up to the hotel room, it was really funny. There's a light in the hallway right outside this door. And I never really noticed it much before. And it's like this parchment that goes around it. And there's all these different languages. And when I found the English, it was believe. I thought, oh, isn't that interesting? Because I'm working with belief systems. So it's like right here, just, you know, to light my way, to believe in something different, you know, and this intention about the source being within me and not outside me.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I love that.
For me, I had the experience of a slow spiral down, but it kind of looked like sort of a drilling down. It was gentle, but it was like peeling stuff off. Like with that spiral, like I want to put a name on it, like, I don't know, maybe how you make zucchini noodles or something. I don't even know if that was it, but it was down. It was like lots of stuff was dropping off, being peeled off, if you will, or dismantled, and then lining up and expanding. But the expanding then was embracing all what was. So it wasn't a pushing away, there was a falling away and then an expanding into all. So pretty interesting. So let's see what we did, shall we? All right, so the first one was harmonization. So they all start with the desired state description, all starts with harmonization of the stress pattern. So they all start that way. This one says fear of violence, which humans disregard. Next one is sticking to what is well proven and familiar. So harmonization of the stress pattern, sticking to what is well proven and familiar. Third one is actively acting against one's own interests. Fourth one is manipulating sustenance and maternal relationships. And the last one is characterization of defenselessness and helplessness, blocking all options. So any of that resonate or pop or give you an insight to something?
Would you reread the third one about the sustenance and maternalization?
Yep. Let's see. I'll find it. But yeah, manipulating sustenance and maternal relationships. So harmonization of the stress pattern, manipulating sustenance and maternal relationships. To me, kind of what sort of popping out of all of it is some like control issues, like wanting it the way we want it. Kind of. What else?
And then the fourth one was hopelessness.
Let's see. I can't find it. I'll read them again. Fear of violence, which humans disregard. Sticking to what is well proven and familiar. Actively acting against one's own interests. Manipulating sustenance and maternal relationships. Characterization of defenselessness and helplessness, blocking all options.
Yeah, it's interesting. That strikes me, that last one, like you talked about the control. So when you're trying so hard to control and to manipulate the circumstances, and then when it doesn't work, then you feel the helplessness or the defensive posture.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I related to the last one as choosing the victim consciousness. You know, it was like acting from that place of that I don't have, as if I don't have control, or as if I don't have any ability to do anything about it. You know, so that's why I resonated with that last one. They all, well, except the first one, I don't really, I think whatever that is unconscious. You know, it's not aware, I'm not aware of that at this point. But the others, I
is concerned about kind of where we're, I hate to say this, going in our country, and it just feels on the edge of, and I don't know that I consciously would have picked violence as the word, but that's kind of an undercurrent. It feels tenuous, and so maybe I hadn't really, I had wanted to push that away, like it says, as is our what to do.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Can I add one quick thing? When you said that about the violence, I noticed it yesterday when I was at the airport and I arrived here in San Antonio, standing in line. We're all exhausted from a day of delays from bad weather in Dallas. And, you know, I had an extra 4.5 hours of travel, and you know, a lot of people did. And standing in line, and there's only one person helping and like 9 people in line. And there's one man like ahead of me a few places who is clearly very agitated and wound up. And I guess if I had to characterize, probably radical right, and just very loud and using a lot of curse words and talking with this other man about all of his beliefs. And then he got to the counter and there was a problem with his reservation. He started getting mad, and I found some fear. It's like, this is a situation where this person could go into rage, because it felt like he was just on the edge of going into rage. And like, I found myself not really wanting to get too close or to make eye contact. You know, worried is like, you know, this could turn into a potentially violent situation, because this looked like somebody who had a lot of anger and rage in him. And that's something that I agree with you, Nancy. I think there's a lot of that coming up in our culture right now.
Yeah. Fascinating. So let's run these again. This is what I'm thinking. We'll run them for 37 seconds. Then I'll do a little dismantling of anything that's coming up. So I'll do a little speaking process through there, and then we'll close, and then we'll run them for another whatever it feels like you, the 37 or minute 20. So it'll take, you know, we'll take about whatever that kind of time frame is, and do the bigger work, right? Do the bigger and deeper and global work. Sound good?
Great.
Okay. So let's start with another 37 seconds of this, and then I'll lead us through something. So find that place where we ended, not that it ever really ended, but find that however you can start there. Starting now. So just feeling into that intention, that deeper intention that you've been working with right here and right now. Becoming it. allowing it, receiving it. And just look around the edges to see if there's a thought, a belief, an obstacle, some kind of limitation that has been up until now the obstacle, if you will. And just look to see what it is, feel what it feels like. If you can identify it in a feeling, an emotion, or a statement, what is the thought that has kept you from becoming this intention or belief? Just identify it. The more specific you can get, the better. But if it's just simply fear or unknown, it doesn't matter. We're going to actually turn and focus our awareness on that belief, on that obstacle. And feel where it lives in our being. We're going to acknowledge that it's there. And we're going to follow it back through the subconscious to the first moment it originated as a thought, as a belief, as a pattern. Just following it back to its origination. And with the truth of our greater intention, we unhook, we dismantle that belief pattern in whatever way is showing up for you. For me, it's like a fish hook. Just going to unhook that fish hook from my subconscious. I'm going to lift it up. I'm going to toss it up. And when I toss it up, it's going to transcend from my limited belief, transcending and raining down a deeper truth, love or grace or knowing or beauty. Whatever it is for you, just feel it. Feel it creating space for the new, and then transcending and filling that space. As that space is filled, allow yourself to receive an affirmation, a new truth. Perhaps it's an I am. And we begin to integrate that truth through all aspects of our being, our physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, through all aspects, all dimensions of time and space, all states of awareness and consciousness. Integrating this new statement as a new pattern, as a new frequency, lining it up with, in support of your intention and our intention. The work is happening, allow it to happen, and we're going to vibrate these same frequencies for 1 minute, 20 seconds. And those are starting now. And those are complete. Noticing what you notice, embodying, integrating the frequencies for your intention, your deeper intention, and our intention, lining them up. Lining them up with each other. Steve, Nancy, Linda, Gloria, Liza. And let's send them to the universe. Let's lift them and gift them 3 times. We'll lift and lift and lift and gift it away. And lift and lift and lift and gift. And one more time, lift and lift and lift and gift it away freely. Feeling the universe receiving, feel it encircling, enfolding, embracing, enveloping the globe and beyond, circling all the way around the planet and coming right back into our circle, into your being. Open and receive it. We receive it individually, we receive it collectively. And say your statement one more time. Bring it all the way into your body, into your being. And so it is. Take a breath. When you're ready, open your eyes. How was that?
Can I jump in here? Oh, it was, okay, that was, wow, it was full. It was very full. I was trying to work with what I started off as my saying, and it was like, oh, that is just so on the surface of what you're really wanting. But I when I first started, I realized, you know, when we talked before a little bit about the defenselessness and the helplessness, that part that came out is that, you know, I have butted up in this process with the kitchen, butted up against a lot of things that I simply didn't know. And while that can be fine, when the learning curve impacts my perception of how long things should take, I was struggling with that. But what I heard in this was, I keep referring to the kitchen as being I look at it in my mind and it's like, it looks like destruction. And when I heard that word come through right at the beginning, and what I heard right after it was, it's deconstructed. It may look the same to you, but it's not destruction. It's, you consciously chose to deconstruct it. And my mind started to go to, you know, how I can so easily send prayers and energy to, I'm going to pick a couple of places, whether it's Syria or whether it's Palestine, and we see everything around them that they had known in rock piles. And on some level in time, they can feel bad, get back up and live their lives. And I'm thinking, I'm going through a little bitty thing with the kitchen that I intentionally deconstructed stuff. And I just started looking at the ludicrousness of my unspoken systems that I was buying into. And when you said, you know, lift it out of yourself, and I go, oh, this is an itty bitty thing that 2x4s in the wallboard can, you know, change in a heartbeat. And just looking at the bigger moments, and we've all been through them when we've excavated down to the depths of our souls, and And people are doing that now, and we're doing it now, but we're also uh, looking at a lot of deconstruction going on around us. And I didn't know how to say about some of the things that I might be fearing. There is a deconstruct that's going on. And when we when we go to having a healthy and loving relationship with process, that's what it came back to me was when I came back to that, and you want to lift it and gift it, it's like, oh, it was just huge. I don't know what it was. It had no form, but it was huge of what was needing was being lifted up in through me, to me and through me. So
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah. You might get to work with that a little bit more, right? But don't try to analyze it. Just let it keep moving. That's cool. Awesome.
I'll jump in real quickly so we can get done in time. Basically, the essence of what came through is and I'm going to use the terms we've been using throughout the session. The sense of violence is the separation from a higher reality. And anytime I create a separate reality, I have created a form of violence against that oneness. And like my ego doesn't think that there's anything else but it. It can't perceive anything else, anything higher, just it. And it's very isolated. So it's like an isolated creator, and it's creating all these warped, distorted, disconnected kingdoms, these little reality bubbles that are not coherent with divine reality or higher reality, whatever word you want to use. And so there's this schism, so there's a violence, there's a lack of connect. And like I took the old ego saying, which comes out of hopelessness and victimization, there's nothing else, which is the belief that there's no creator, there's nothing else but just the sad little hopeless ego. And then that statement could be turned around to say, there's nothing else. So there's only a unity, there's only oneness. There's only one creator. So there was just a lot, just like Nancy, there was a lot packed into that short time, but just realizing how I create these realities that cause suffering for me. And I can pop those bubbles and let it line back up with, there's nothing else. It's just this divine, there is a higher source. And that got back to my intention, so that source is flowing out of me. Anyway, I'll keep working on it because that was pretty cool.
Wow. Awesome. Cool. Steve.
Okay, well, we may have to dash here at any minute.
Yeah.
There's a ring on the doorbell, but so for me, I'm physically uncomfortable. I've been in this chair all day long, and I really haven't even gotten up to get a snack or anything. And I told Nancy, I texted her, said, well, I should be off this call by 5. I'm gonna go pee and grab some water in that order. And so this time, for the second half of this, that's like that discomfort from being in one spot was hitting. And there's a tree grinder outside. It's just like going 90 to nothing, shredding limbs and stuff. And I was really distracted. I couldn't merge into this peaceful, easy flow that I had the first half. So I'm sure I'll run some Healy or something later.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
back to that.
Yeah.
That's
And
what was going
sometimes
on.
that just happens, right? It's just like
Yeah.
done. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Linda. And then we'll wrap up. I know we're a couple minutes over. You're muted, sweetie. Linda, can't hear you. There you go.
Kept saying it and it didn't. Okay. So I just, I'm not sure what to say, just because there was just so much going on. I really felt like I went thing with the maternal instinct, the maternal healing, and the forgiving, the letting go, the whole thing, and then bringing it up and giving it, lifting it and gifting it back. And that having a lot to do with how I feel about myself and my worthiness, and that kind of, that as the feminine aspect of me, the creative aspect of me. So one, and that we are love.
Okay. Wow. Big stuff moving. Even Steve, big stuff moving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For me, the energies were still moving a lot. And then when I was sort of guiding, I was just sort of holding space. So then I sort of stepped out of it for myself, but that was totally fine. So I don't feel like I have a lot to add in this moment, other than this felt like really big work that's going to keep working through all of us, and allow it to keep, don't work it hard, but allow it to keep working. And if you get caught, I'm around all week. So, text me, call me, email me. And yeah.
Linda, thanks for the phrase about completion, because that was circling around my energy field too. So that was, thank you. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow, like this a whole lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, really powerful.
Yeah.
We just line up, we lift it.
Yes.
Sprinkle ourselves. Have a great evening. Have a great week.
Thank you.
You
Thank
too.
you. Have a beautiful week.
Love you
Love you
all.
all.
Bye.
Love you all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.